Hey, do you have just a short amount of time to listen to God? Listen to John chapter 8, verse 21 through 30. It says this, later Jesus said to them again, I am going away. You will search for me, but you will die in your sin. You cannot come where I am going. The people asked, is he planning to commit suicide? What does he mean, you cannot come where I am going? Jesus continued, you are from below, I am from above. You belong to this world, I do not. That's why I said to you, you will die in your sins, for unless you believe that I am who I claim to be, you will die in your sins. Who are you? They demanded. Jesus replied, the one I have always claimed to be. I have much to say about you and much to condemn, but I won't. For I say only what I have heard from the one who sent me. He is completely truthful. But they still didn't understand he was talking about his Father. So Jesus said, when you have lifted up the Son of Man on the cross, then you will understand that I am he. Then you will understand that I am he. I do nothing on my own, but say only what the Father taught me. The one who sent me is with me. He has not deserted me, for I always do what pleases him. Then many who heard these things believed in him. So this passage starts off with the Pharisees. Remember last video, the Pharisees were questioning him. This is right after the woman was caught in adultery, and he said that he didn't condemn her, and he let her go free, but he said, sin no more. Now, all the people are kind of around and questioning him, and Jesus said, I'm going away. And they were like, and Jesus said, you'll look for me, but you won't find me. And people didn't know what he meant. Like, what are you saying, Jesus? And Jesus, we know in hindsight, he was talking about he was going to the cross and he was going to die and resurrect and ascend to the Father, and they weren't going to be able to find him. Remember, the tomb was empty. Then Jesus says, you are from below, I'm from above. You belong to the world, but I don't. And then he said, unless you believe I am he, then you will die in your sins. And it's just, man, he's just saying, man, I'm from heaven, you're from earth. And if you don't believe in me, you're literally just going to die in your sins. So he's calling them to believe in who he is as the Messiah. Then Jesus says this awesome thing. He says this, verse 28, he says, when you have lifted up the Son of Man on the cross, then you will know that I am he. You see, right now they were blinded, but once they see him lifted up and exalted on the cross, then it would be clear to the world that he was the Messiah after they found out he rose again. And also, they're going to see that he's the Messiah because it's really interesting. In the book of Matthew, it records that like the whole sky gets dark and people start coming out of their tombs and the veil of the temple was torn. All of these supernatural things happened when Jesus was on the cross because it was more than just a natural, just a regular crucifixion. It was a spiritual transaction for Jesus paying our sin debt to the Father, and he became a curse, and the Father was pleased to crush him, as it says in Isaiah 53. And so this was a spiritual ransom. This was breaking spiritual boundaries, and things were happening that were out of this world, proving that Jesus was the Messiah. He wasn't just some ordinary man dying on the cross. We're going to continue the conversation in the next video, and we're going to see how Jesus said he's greater than Abraham.